And welcome back to my channel. Today I'm obviously starting yet another reading vlog. So it's currently Saturday morning. I'm gonna film this vlog, I don't know, for the next like 5 days or so, but I just have a couple of really fun books that I'm planning to read. I also just have a couple of things that I'm planning to do in this vlog, hobby-wise things, obviously. Just the normal fare around here, but I am like getting back into a couple of things, so we'll talk about that as well. So yeah, I guess without further ado, let's just talk about my TBR that I have for this video, and then we'll get into it. So I have two main books that I'm planning on reading in this vlog, and then I have a random book that I picked up from the library yesterday. You know, I might just show you like all the books that I got from the library yesterday, because I went in to get one book, found out I had a hold ready, and then there were just two books that were in the sci-fi fantasy section that I've been wanting to read. So I really made out like a bandit yesterday in the library. Honestly, like just so many good picks. So let me show you the books that I'm gonna be reading in this video, and then I'll show you like the other two books that I got from the library. So the first one is actually a really random pick. I was not initially planning on reading this anytime soon, but I was watching this video of somebody who doesn't do book content, but she does sewing stuff, but she was talking about a couple of the books that she had read recently, and she said she read this one and she gave it 5 stars, and I was like, you know, I've been wanting to read that book. Everybody says it's really good, so I figured why not read it this weekend? The library closest to me has it like in stock? That's not the right word. Has it in? I feel like there's a better word for that. I don't know what it is. But you guys probably already know what it is, but I'm gonna be reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I said at the very beginning of this year that I wanted to read more sci-fi, and I think literally the only sci-fi I've read so far is Murderbot, so I need to branch out a little bit. And I figured Andy Weir, especially like Project Hail Mary and The Martian, I know a lot of people like that one too, but like so many people love this book. I have seen so many people put it on like their top books of the year list, and I'm just like, I gotta know what's going on in this book and why everybody's giving it 5 stars. So I decided to finally, you know, branch out. Well, I'm not really like branching out. I'm more so branching in to sci-fi, and I'm gonna read this one. I hear it's really, really good. So I'm quite interested to see what I think of it. I think, is there also a movie of this? I'm not sure. If there is, I'll have to watch it, but if there's not, oh, we have fun spaceship things in the front. So I'm gonna be reading this one. It's gonna be great. Hopefully it'll be great. And then the other main book that I'm gonna be reading in this vlog, I don't currently have a copy of, but it is coming in the mail today. It's out for delivery. I'm so excited. If you guys watched my last video, you probably know what it is. But I'm gonna be reading the second Dungeon Crawler Carl book, which is Carl's Doomsday Scenario. I loved the first Dungeon Crawler Carl book. Wasn't a 5 star, but like I feel like it was pretty close to being a 5 star. And I have high hopes for the rest of the series, so I've been waiting so patiently for my copy of this book to come in. So I'm gonna be reading that one. I'm definitely gonna be like starting with Project Hail Mary, seeing as I don't have, you know. Well, actually, no, actually, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna start out actually with the last book that's on my TBR, and then I'll read the Dungeon Crawler Carl book, and then I'll read Hail Mary last. Does that sound good? Right now, that's what sounds good. We'll see if that like lasts. But the last book that I have on this TBR is incredibly short. It is so tiny, but I've been wanting to read this book ever since it came out. I just like haven't gotten a copy of it or like borrowed a copy of it yet. But again, when I went into the library yesterday, they had Galatea, which I believe is how you pronounce that, by Madeline Miller. This is literally so tiny. Like this may be one of the shortest books I've ever read. I think it's like 50 pages max, maybe. It is 50 pages exactly, and it follows the Greek myth of this woman who gets turned into a statue. But I don't think I've ever read the myth that like involves Galatea, so maybe I should like do that at some point, but I'm not gonna do that first. I'm just gonna read Galatea because I've heard really good things about this. I read Circe last year, which I absolutely loved, so I've been meaning to read Madeline Miller's other books. Honestly, it's a crime that I haven't read Song of Achilles yet. Maybe one of these days I'll get to it, but this one really popped out at me from the shelf, so I decided, you know, why not? Why not throw it on this TBR? It sounds interesting, so I'm gonna read this one first. Am I going to? And you know, I'm just gonna see what I'm feeling. It doesn't matter, obviously, but like, this is the last book on my TBR for this weekend. So here's part of my TBR, we'll get the rest of it later. But yeah, I'm very excited about my selections for this weekend. Well, like week-ish. But as I said, I wanted to show you the other 2 books that I got from the library because I'm very excited about both of them. The first one they had was Network Effect by Martha Wells. Initially, I was planning on buying a copy of this book, but now I'm not sure if I'm going to because I really like the hardback novellas of the Murderbot series. Like, there's just a novelty to them that, like, I enjoy having them on my shelves. This one just looks like a normal book, so I'm like, I don't know if I, like, want to buy a copy of this one. If I read it and I really like it, maybe I'll buy a copy of it, but I figured, you know, they have it at the library, so maybe I should just read it that way. It kind of seemed like a sign, you know? And then the last book that I picked up, I've truly never heard anybody talk about before, but it's blurbed by Olivia Atwater, which intrigues me. And that is Empire of Shadows by Jacqueline Benson. Literally every time I look at this book, I think it's like a missing Throne of Glass book or something. Because every time I hear it, I'm like, is Empire of Shadows a Throne of Glass book? But it's like a mashup of like Throne of Glass book titles, and it throws me off every time. But this is like a historical rom-com kind of situation. It says, read it now and dive into a rip-roaring historical fantasy adventure perfect for fans of Romancing the Stone and the Mummy. Honestly, I don't know anything about this book. I think somebody posted a picture of it in my Patreon Discord one day, and I was like, that looks intriguing. But like, I've never heard anybody talk about it before, so I was intrigued. I was intrigued enough, so I decided to pick it up. So I might read that at some point as well. If you've read this book, please let me know. Is it good? Is it not good? I gotta know. Let me know. So that's all the book related stuff. We got the TBR out of the way. We got the library haul out of the way. Let me talk about the couple of other things that I'm planning on doing this weekend, because I feel like you guys will be interested to know that I recently started a new star blanket because I'm insane. You know, I have my one in the background here, but honestly, like, it's giving wintry kind of vibes, you know, which is fine, but you know, we're going into April and I kind of wanted something that was like just season neutral, like it didn't really have much of a seasonal vibe. And I saw a picture on Pinterest of somebody that did a star blanket that was like pastel-y but still very neutral, and that's kind of the vibe that I was going for. So I went to get some yarn yesterday, and this is how it's looking so far. I love how quickly the beginning rows of this star blanket go. It is like, you just feel so accomplished, honestly. And then when you get to the outer rows, it takes you an incredibly long time and it's a bit disheartening, but the beginning rows are super fun. So here's what it's looking like so far. I'm not like 100% sold on the color combos, but I'm just gonna keep going and see how it goes. I do have one more color that I need to like integrate in here. It's like this light greeny color, so that's gonna like maybe be my next row. But I'm intrigued to see how this looks when it gets a little bit bigger. I feel like I'll like it. I don't know. We're just gonna find out. I also did have to integrate a color that I use in like every single crochet project I do, I swear. And it's this like, I don't even know what to call this. It's like a yellowy, greeny, I don't know what is this color even called? Green apple? I mean, I guess that's kind of apt. I don't know. But I've used this in so many different crochet projects and I couldn't not use it in this one. So yeah, I have all my yarn sitting over there. I'm gonna work on that a little bit this morning probably, because I'm highly motivated to work on this right now. So we'll do a little bit of that this morning. I think I'm also going to, I don't know, because I was initially thinking maybe I'll get an audiobook to listen to. I don't know what audiobook for like while I'm doing that and while I'm doing this other thing. But also recently I've really been wanting to watch the 1995 Pride and Prejudice because I've never seen it before, like the miniseries. So I might also just watch that while I crochet instead. I don't know. I'll like, you know, feel out the vibe later. That's a later kind of problem. But then the other thing that I want to do in this video is I got a new puzzle because my parents so kindly got me a little present for Easter, and it is the last Brambly Hedge puzzle. I'm so sad, but they have these like seasonal Brambly Hedge puzzles. I've done the other three for summer, fall, and winter, and now it is finally time to do the spring one. And I'm very excited. Like, it's just so cute. I love these puzzles so dearly. Like, they're my favorite puzzles. They're also just like really fun to put together because I think I've said this before, but like since it's sectioned into these little like areas, it's kind of like you're doing a bunch of mini puzzles almost. And the text is also really fun to put together. I'm just a big fan of these, so I really would like to start working on this weekend. I don't think I'm gonna finish it, but I'd like to make a little bit of progress on it, so that's another plan. And I think that's everything. I'll probably do some journaling. Obviously, I got to catch up in my Hobonichi. Just a lot of things that I'm planning to do in this 5-day period. We'll see how it goes. But those are kind of like the things that I'm planning on focusing on for the next like week or so. Something else though that I'll probably have to do during this video is a little bit of homework, which is disgusting. Although I do have less than a month left of my school semester, and then I have 3 months off, and I'm so happy. But I do unfortunately have some quizzes, some homework. I have some reading that I have to do for that, which is Ugh. But actually that whole process has become a lot more enjoyable recently thanks to the sponsor of today's video, which is XpPen. So thank you so much to XpPen for sponsoring this video. They so kindly sent me their new magic notepad situation, which I've been using for a couple of weeks now, and I'm really liking it. So this is the world's first high refresh 3-in-1 color notepad. I know a lot of like note-taking devices like this are in black and white, but this one is full color and it is so beautiful. So on this notepad there are 3 different color modes that you can switch through depending on what you're doing, and it also has a really high refresh rate, so there's not going to be any lagging or ghosting when you're drawing or taking notes. It also comes with the free XpPen Notes app, which I have been taking a lot of my notes in over the last few weeks, and I've really been enjoying it. There's so many different things that you can do in it, such as PDF editing. It also has handwriting to text conversion on it, which I really like. While this is primarily a note-taking device, it does also just kind of act as a normal tablet. So I can access all my textbooks, my course pages, but I can also do more entertainment type things. So I can like watch YouTube, I can draw on it, I could also read ebooks on it if I wanted to, which is really nice. It also comes with this little stylus, and I really love how the stylus like interacts with the screen, because like the texture of it really does not exactly make it feel like you're writing on paper, but it like gives you the same results as if you were writing on paper. It's also super thin. I think it's like 7mm thick or something, and it weighs like a little bit over a pound, so it's really lightweight to carry around with you. It also charges super fast, and it has low blue light certification, so it's gonna be really easy on your eyes, which is really good, especially when you have to stare at something for this long. It also comes with this really nice case. It like snaps on it magnetically, which is really cool. So I've really been loving this recently, and I would definitely recommend if you're in the market for a new note-taking kind of device. It's honestly perfect for so many different types of people, whether you're an artist, a professional, a student like myself, or if you just have kind of everyday tablet needs that you want addressed. I feel like this would be perfect. So I will leave a link to this down below if you guys would like to check it out. So thank you again so much to XpPen for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my channel, and to you guys who are watching this video as well for always supporting me and my channel. Your support truly means the absolute world to me, and I'm so happy that you're here. So with that, we can now get on into the vlog. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of wanting to start with Project Hail Mary maybe instead of Galatea. Also, I realize I have not told you what like either of like the bigger books that I'm reading are about. And that is because for the most part, I don't know. Like, I don't know a single thing about this book aside from the fact that it takes place in space. So we're just gonna get into it. I'm gonna find out what it's about, and then I'll let you know in a little bit. I'm also gonna do a little bit of crocheting this morning as well, like I said. So these are kind of my immediate plans. Very excited for my cozy 5 days that are ahead of me. It's also supposed to be pretty gloomy this weekend, which I'm very happy about. I think it's supposed to like rain all day tomorrow, which you guys already know how excited I am for that. So without further ado, let's just get on into the video and do some reading. right, so it is a lot later. I've done some reading, I have done some crocheting, I also got a book in the mail. You guys already know what it is. But yeah, I just have a couple of updates, so let's chat about it. First of all, I did make some pretty good progress, I would say, with my blanket. I think I'm liking how the colors are turning out. I'm still not sure, but I'm gonna keep going anyway, and I'll see if I can get like a better feel for it as it gets bigger, you know? But I was working on this while I watched the first like 2.5 episodes of the Pride and Prejudice miniseries that the BBC did. It is so good. Like, it is so good. I've only ever seen the 2005 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, which I absolutely love, obviously. But I've never seen this one, and I know a lot of people prefer this one over the 2005 adaptation, so obviously I've known that I have needed to watch it for a while, but I've just never gotten around to it. But I'm so happy that I finally did, because it has been so good so far. And even though I know everything that's gonna happen, I'm just like, oh my god, like, give me more. Like, let me watch the next episode, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely spent more time crocheting than I was expecting to, because I was just like wanting to watch more of Pride and Prejudice, which is great. And I probably will just finish, you know, the rest of the episodes tomorrow. Maybe that might happen, but yeah, it was so good. It's so good. So yeah, that was really nice to like do that while working on my little crochet project. So that's kind of what I spent like the majority of the afternoon doing. Also this afternoon, I did get Carl's Doomsday Scenario, which I'm so excited about. I think the hot pink on these covers is so interesting. Like, it's just not the color I would have chosen for this series, but I absolutely love it. Like, I really do like these new covers. I know some people like the indie covers, but I'm really not sad that this series got like a cover redesign when they got trad published, because I just prefer these so much, honestly. But yes, I will be reading this one as soon as I finish Project Hail Mary. Oh, it's shorter than Dungeon Crawler Carl. That's interesting. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into this one because I think it's gonna be great. But obviously I'll like talk more about this when I actually decide to start reading it. But for now, I thought I would give you guys an update on Project Hail Mary because I'm currently 74 pages into it. I'm not like super far into it. How long is this? 475? That's not too bad. But I wanted to give you guys some initial thoughts and feelings on this before I like get into the rest of it. But I'm really enjoying it so far. This is definitely, you know, the kind of book that is interesting right off the bat. I feel like from the first page, you're like intrigued in what's happening and you kind of just need to know what's gonna happen next. Because this book starts out with our main character waking up in this weird place. He doesn't really know where he is. He also realizes that he doesn't know who he is. He knows like basic information about his surroundings, but he doesn't know like anything about himself. So the first, you know, couple chapters of this book are following him as he is, you know, ambling around this new area. Maybe it's a spaceship. That's for you to find out, even though I basically just told you that it's a spaceship, but that's not really a spoiler. But as he's progressing through the spaceship, things are kind of jogging his memory and he's starting to realize why exactly he is on this spaceship in what is seemingly the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's space, obviously, it just is the middle of nowhere. But I really like the way that this book is told so far because you have everything that's happening in the present day timeline, but he does kind of have amnesia. So as he sees certain things that are like jogging his memory, you kind of jump back to when those things were actually happening, and the story like kind of progresses in two different timelines almost, which I think is cool. But through both timelines, you learn that there is this extinction event that Earth like learned about. We don't know how long, we don't really know what the timeline is like between the like past timeline and the one that you're like currently in, which I'm really like, I'm so intrigued to figure out like how long he's been on this spaceship. But Earth is basically experiencing its 6th extinction event. That is so hard to say. Which, hearing that led me down a rabbit hole of learning what the other 5 extinction events were, which is really fascinating, honestly. Obviously I knew about like, you know, the asteroid knocking out the dinosaurs. Duh. But like, did you know there were 4 more before that? I never really thought about it before, so I fell down a rabbit hole of like reading different articles about that, so that was kind of interesting. And I do love it when books like prompt me to look into things like this. It kind of reminds me, not in like story at all, but like the reading experience so far reminds me a lot of when I was reading Into the Drowning Deep last year, because in that book there's like a lot of information about, you know, like marine life and whatever, and I was just constantly googling things that it was talking about just so I could like see pictures or like see more about it. And I feel like I'm kind of doing that with some of the things that you're learning in this book too, which I love that. Like, honestly, learning about, you know, like the dinosaurs and everything that happened before then, it just feels so unreal. Like, it kind of sends me into a spiral a little bit, like when you really start to think about it. but I just love making it worse. It's so fun. But like, it's so fascinating at the same time. So I really like that. But as the book progresses, you're kind of learning more and more about what is causing this extinction event and why our character specifically has like gotten wrapped up in it basically. So I've just really enjoyed how the story is unfolding overall. I feel like it's a really effective way to tell this story. I also learned, has nothing to do with like the reading experience, but I did learn that there will be a movie of this book. It's not out yet. I think it's supposed to come out next year. It's got like Ryan Gosling in it, which I had no clue like that was happening. So I'll probably have to go watch that whenever it comes out because I'm already liking this book. It's not like my favorite thing. And while all of these sciencey things that are going on so far in this book has been really interesting, I think it's funny because like our main character basically spent the first 2 chapters performing really basic physics experiments to like deduce where exactly he is, which I thought was kind of cool. But I don't love a lot of the dialogue that's in this book. Like, there's not a lot of dialogue in the present day timeline because he is the only person on the ship. But in the past timeline, like, I don't know, like the dialogue just feels off to me for some reason, and I don't know why, which I suppose isn't like a huge deal, but it's just kind of something I've noticed so far about it. It's just like the conversations feel so stilted and like unrealistic, I guess. But also I don't think that's like the purpose of this book, so I'm not that mad about it because obviously kind of the shining star of this book is like the science behind like what's going on and like how our character is going to maybe solve this problem. He's essentially on this spaceship to gather information and send it back to Earth to potentially stop this whole extinction event. So I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna go. But we're certainly gonna find out because I am planning to read a decent amount more of this today. It's definitely a very fast read, that's for sure. I feel like it really does suck you in like immediately. So thus far, it's been a pretty fast read, which I'm also really enjoying. But just in general, I'm liking it so far. I'm definitely very intrigued. So I'm gonna read some more of this tonight and tomorrow. And we'll just see how far I get. But yeah, it's going pretty well so far. I'm enjoying it. So I will probably talk to you guys tomorrow morning with an update. So I'll see you then. right, so it is now Monday morning. I just got back from class, and I also did a little bit of journaling this morning. I did my next, little Hobonichi weekly spread. You guys know how it is. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update because I have a reading update. I also have a little bit of a crochet update, which I thought I would share with you guys as well. So here's how it's currently looking. I'm liking the colors a lot. I feel like now that I've done more of it, I can, see the vision a little bit better. And I am quite happy with how this is turning out so far. But yesterday I spent so much time undoing and then redoing like 4 rows of this because I decided I wanted to change this light green color that's like currently on the border and like this one right here to a slightly less saturated green. So this was, oh man, it's all like tangled up in here. So here's like the original green, and this is the one that I like swapped it to. So like, well actually, there is quite a difference. This one's a lot darker. I wanted to kind of get a lighter color in my blanket and something that was a little bit less saturated as well. And I feel like that makes it look better overall, in my eyes at least. So I'm happy with that, even though it took me so much time and I could be so much further than I am now. But I also finished up watching all of the 1995 Pride and Prejudice, and it was so good. It was so good. I feel like that's all I've said about it so far. But honestly, I liked it even more, I think, than the 2005 adaptation. And like there's so, like the runtimes on them is so different. It feels like it's not a very fair fight, But I can definitely see myself rewatching it again soon, honestly, because I really, really loved it. And I know there's some other really good adaptations of classics that the BBC has done, and I think a couple of them are like available for me to watch. So I'm like, maybe I'll watch those. I don't know. I need to look into that. If you guys have any like ones that you really like, let me know. I'd love to know. But that is truly what I spent so much of yesterday doing, crocheting and watching Pride and Prejudice, and it was honestly so lovely. I just like the casting is so good. I love the casting. I just love the vibes of it, It was just great. But anyway, there's that. That's how that's going. But I obviously do have a reading update as well because I have read a lot more of Project Hail Mary. I'm currently on page 220, so I think I'm like almost exactly halfway through the book. No, actually I'm not. I'm a little bit under halfway through the book so far. And I'm still really, really liking this book. I am probably not enjoying it as much as, like other people have been enjoying it. I feel like so many people, when I see them read this book, they're like, oh my God, 5 stars. And I'm like, I don't really get like, a 5-star vibe from this book, but it's very different from what I normally read, and I do definitely appreciate it for that. And I do love all of the spacey, science-y elements that are in it. I think it's cool. But anyway, since the last time that I talked to you, I feel like the plot has progressed quite a lot, honestly. We haven't really gotten any further to figuring out what the hell our main character is gonna do about this whole extinction event thing that's going on. But there have been more pressing things happening that have been so interesting to read about, and I am really liking those parts. Because, and I think this is alluded to in the description of this book, so I feel like what I'm gonna say isn't a spoiler. But our main character is out in space. He's trying to figure out what information he can send back to Earth that could possibly help them. But he notices one day that there is something approaching his ship, and it may be another spaceship from who knows where. So we're kind of seeing as he is, figuring out what's going on with that, maybe meeting some new beings, maybe trying to establish a way to communicate with them, which has been fascinating, honestly. And I really like the dynamic that is kind of forming between our main character and like this new thing that may or may not have come into the story. I don't know how to keep this vague enough, but like I feel like it's important information to talk about. I don't know. I don't think anything I just said is like that much of a spoiler for this book though, because like it's alluded to that he meets, what does it say? An ally that he never imagined, so I feel like you can come to your own conclusions with that. But it's been so interesting to just learn more about the spaceship that our main character is on and kind of just get more information through the flashbacks that are still like present throughout this book. I'm again still really enjoying the structure of this with like the going back and forth with the current day timeline and like all of the things that kind of led up to where a character is now. I definitely still have a couple of questions that have still not been answered, so that's definitely keeping me intrigued. But I must say, I don't like the past timeline quite as much as I like the present timeline. I feel like every time, and I know this is the point, and like it's a good way to like tell the story because it keeps me intrigued, but like every time we get to something interesting in the current day timeline, it's like, let's go back and talk about the science behind this centrifuge that like this thing's gonna do. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to see the cool alien stuff going on. Obviously all of it's like important information, and I like that it kind of leaves you on those cliffhangers because I'm just like, okay, I know like when I get back to this part, it's gonna be so good. But the stuff in the past timeline, now that we've like progressed further into it, I'm kind of just like, eh. Like, I know we get to where we are now, so like give me more of that, you know? But again, there are like things that I would like to learn. I also just think it's really interesting to kind of see this depiction of how Earth is dealing with this information. I feel like, you know, a mass extinction event would definitely be something that would bring everybody together in a way. So I think it's interesting to kind of see this prediction of how that would play out. However, there's so much of it that feels just like incredibly unrealistic. And I know I'm reading like a science fiction book, but like, so many things about this book feel like they could happen, you know? But there's this woman, her name is like Strat. I don't know what her first name is, but I know her last name is Strat, and she's just like, she's got like all the clearance that you could ever possibly need in the world, honestly. And I'm like, I don't buy this. Even in a mass event like this, I don't buy that this would happen. There's one point when she was in court and she was just like, I have been granted immunity from like every single crime you could possibly imagine. And I'm like, okay, I see that on like some levels, but like what if she murdered somebody just because she wanted to? Like that doesn't have to do with the mass extinction event. So I'm like, where's the logic? Where are the ethics behind that? I don't know, like that one line still sticks out to me because I'm like, every crime? Like all of them? But she literally like whips everybody into shape. Like no matter where you're from, who you are, what you're doing, she's like, you're gonna do this my way. You're also like legally obligated to help me out with this or else we're gonna arrest you and make you do it anyway. And it's just crazy, honestly. Like it's just so incredibly unrealistic. I mean, obviously like, I don't know the logistics of how any of that would actually work out, but it just feels a little bit ridiculous. It's also just kind of funny at the same time, so I don't really mind that much. But you know, I'm enjoying this book so far. I think I'm already planning to read Andy Weir's other like more popular book. I know he has 3 books out, but I would really like to read The Martian. I don't know if I'm super interested in the other one. I need to look into it a little bit more, but I definitely want to read The Martian at some point because I know people really like that one as well. But I do really like Andy Weir's like writing style. I just feel like the way it's written does a really good job at keeping you engaged, and it's like fun to read. I really like the internal monologue of our main character because it feels very authentic to what your internal monologue would be, and it's just kind of like, it's very casual, and overall it's just been fascinating so far. I am again still, you know, like looking up a bunch of random things when they come up, and it's been really interesting. Honestly, thinking about being out in space like this like is terrifying. Like every time there's this video, oh my god, there's this video that I used to watch when I was younger that would send me into like a full-blown existential crisis before I even knew what that meant. But there's this video that like compares the sizes of like planets and moons and stars and stuff, and it like puts them on this scale, and you start with like the moon. I don't know what the first one is, but like it starts with something really small, and then like it gets bigger, and you see the Earth, and then it gets bigger, and you see like Jupiter, and then like the sun, and then you go into like even larger stars, and like by the time you get to like the biggest star, the moon is literally just like the tiniest pinprick. The Earth also just like incredibly small, so like it really puts into perspective how tiny the Earth is compared to other things in the universe. And I'm gonna send myself into an existential crisis right now just thinking about it, because it just makes you feel so insignificant. Like it's terrifying, but at the same time it's almost a comforting thought when you really think about it, because like nothing matters. And I feel like there's comfort in that saying. I feel like a lot of people say that in like a negative way, but I kind of take comfort in that sentiment, honestly. But anyway, I feel like I just got off on a big tangent there. Every time that video resurfaces in my memory, I'm just like, ooh, you know? So if you want to have an existential crisis, you should definitely look it up. I'm maybe planning to try and finish this book up today. I'm very interested in what is currently going on and like, what's the solution to this? I have no idea. I need to find out. So I'm gonna read some more of Project Hail Mary because I would really like to start the next Dungeon Crawler Kara book tomorrow because I'm, you know, very excited about it. So if I haven't made that abundantly clear enough, I feel like I've been talking about it so much. I'm sorry, but yeah, those are kind of my plans for the rest of the day. I also might start my puzzle. Honestly, I kind of wish I had the audiobook for Project Hail Mary because like I could listen to it while I work on my puzzle, but it's an Audible original, which is so rude. Maybe I'll try and finagle that later though, because I would like to work on my puzzle. I don't know, we'll see. I'm like tossing around some plans. We'll see if any of them actually happen, but what I do know is that I will see you guys later with another update. Hopefully, I finished my book. right, so it is a lot later. Well, actually, it's the next day because I've not talked to you at all today. It's 10:43 right now, and I've been majorly sidetracked today, and I've not done a lot of reading. I've done some reading. I've also finished a book since I last talked to you, and we'll talk about those in a moment. But first, I wanted to show you the project that I have taken on that I am so freaking excited about. I think it's gonna be so cute when it's done. So I've been watching a lot of sewing videos on YouTube recently, and I've been inspired, and I was like, you know what? I want to make something. I want to sew something. I've never sewn anything myself before. My mom is a seamstress, so like she'll make things for me every now and then, but I am not like a very experienced sewer. Sewist, I suppose. But I do know the basics of how to sew, so I decided to buy a pattern for a bag on Etsy because I've been wanting a smaller bag than my bagoo, but like I don't want to buy another bag because that seems like a waste. So I decided I was gonna try and make one. And I'm so excited with how it's coming out. I have spent the last like 5 hours working on this, and I cannot work on it anymore tonight because I needed to go iron some things, and like the iron's downstairs and it's like, you know, 11 o'clock, so I don't want to like wake people up. But here's how the bag is looking. I'm so excited about it. Isn't it so cute? It's like a quilted little shoulder bag situation. Obviously, like the strap needs to be lined. It's looking pretty sad right now, and the inside is literally just like a bunch of batting. But I love the pattern for the outside, and then here's the pattern, if I can grab it, that's gonna be for the lining. I think I'm also gonna put a pocket on the inside as well. There are also like 2 pockets that go on the front and back of the bag, I think. Regardless of if that's correct, I'm gonna put pockets on the front and back of the bag, so I'll have like 2 in the front, maybe 3 in the back. That could be kind of nice. And then to close it, there's just like a little bow that closes it, and I think it's gonna be so cute. And like, so far it's turning out pretty well. I feel like a reason I've stayed away from sewing for so long is because I wasn't confident in my ability to like sew straight lines. But I also think I try and sew too fast every time I try and do it. So I've slowed down, and I feel like it's going pretty well. I mean, like the whole bag is quilted and I don't think it looks too bad. So I'm pretty happy with how this is looking, honestly. I expected it to just be a disaster, frankly. Weenie has joined us, but it is also just a really good beginner pattern. So I'm gonna finish this up tomorrow morning. Definitely will show you guys that. Where are you going? And then when I'm done, seeing as this one's going well so far, knock on wood, I might make another one in like fall fabric-y kind of colors. Hi. Hello. Because there's a really pretty fall fabric that is at Joann's right now. RIP Joann's. She's gonna close soon. I'm very sad about it. But I've been eyeing this fabric and it is so beautiful, but I'm like, what am I gonna do? I don't sew. But I'm like, I could make a bag with that fabric and I feel like it'd be really cute. I'm imagining that with like a fun fall like maybe check pattern could be kind of cute. I don't know, but like I didn't want to buy the fabric until I was certain that I could do something with it, and now I feel like maybe I'm just jumping the gun a little bit because I haven't finished the bag. But I feel like it's gonna go well. I have high hopes for me in this bag, and I'm so excited tomorrow morning to be able to like press the seams and stuff and like get moving on it again. Oh, I'm just like, I love it, honestly. Like, it's been so fun. I've put on the 1995 not Pride and Prejudice, I just watched that, Persuasion, and I've been really enjoying that too. Not my favorite Jane Austen adaptation that I've seen, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. I read Persuasion last year and I've been meaning to watch an adaptation of it, so it was about time, honestly. But that is truly all I've been doing today. All right, bye. I just decided on a whim, yeah, I'm gonna try and make this bag now, so I'm really happy that I did, honestly, because I am so happy with it. It's also a little, is it smaller? I feel like it's smaller than my current purse that I've been using. I might scale down the pattern even more for my next bag so it is a little bit smaller, because like this is a nice medium-sized bag, but like I wanted a small bag, you know? Although there's also some seam allowance still on here, so it'll be a little bit smaller. I don't know, I'll figure that out later. But that is what I've been up to today. Very fun. Don't know if you guys care about my sewing adventure, but I do tend to share like a lot of my hobby related things, so I figured you guys would find it kind of interesting. So yeah, we'll finish it up tomorrow morning. It'll be very fun, hopefully. It won't be fun if it goes badly, but I don't think it will. I think it'll be great. Keeping it confident here. Moving on, I do have some book reading updates to talk to you guys about, because yesterday I did finish up Project Hail Mary. I actually really loved the second half of this book. I feel like, for me personally, it was really good in the beginning, and then it like, there was a little bit of a lull, but like once things got moving a little bit more and some character dynamics were just improving and like a friendship was forming, it was just so nice, and I love how this book ended. I thought it was so cute. And never did I think I would call the ending of this book cute, but like truly it was. There were some really wholesome moments in this book. Overall, I just thought the concept was interesting. I loved watching our main character just like performing a bunch of science experiments for 470 pages or something. And just like the friendships that he forms along the way were so touching, honestly. Like I was truly tearing up. Oh my god, there's one scene, like I wasn't crying. Like if you guys have been around here a while, you know I don't cry at books. It's like just, they don't, I don't know, like I feel emotions towards them, but like not to the extent that I cry. But there were tears in my eyes were glistening, you could say, because I was like, don't do this to me right now. But yeah, it was so good. Honestly, like I think now I do see why people give it 5 stars. I feel like early I was like, I don't know, but like I totally get it now. I'm not giving it 5 stars. I don't think it was quite there for me, but I still really, really loved it. And I'm very happy that I just like randomly decided to pick this book up. And I'm super interested to read The Martian. I feel like it's gonna be like a different vibe from this, because I think that's about a guy that goes to live on Mars, I would assume. I'm interested. I like Andy Weir's writing a lot, so I'm curious to see what one of his other books is like. So I finished up this one. Honestly, really happy that I finally decided to get to this. It definitely has increased my interest in reading some sci-fi, which was like my main goal this year, is like to read more sci-fi. So if you guys have any like good sci-fi recs, I feel like I've asked for sci-fi recs so many times and I've never read any of them. I'm so sorry. But if you have any sci-fi recs that are along the lines of this book, but like people from Earth going into space, I feel like that's a vibe that I enjoy and could find interesting. So if you have any recs in the way of that, let me know. And then today I did some sprints with my patrons and I started Carl's Doomsday Scenario. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this book in this vlog now, because I just spent like 7 hours making a bag instead of reading like I told myself I would. But we'll see, we'll see. I do still have all day tomorrow to kind of like film this vlog, so we'll see. But as I said, I did start this book. I'm currently on page 74. I'm on chapter 7. And I'm really liking this one as well. I am not surprised I'm liking this one. I haven't been able to shut up about how excited I am to continue the series. But Carl has gone into the 3rd floor of the dungeon, and it's like a little bit of a different vibe, which I like. There are like taverns and more magical creatures, and like it's kind of outside-ish, as outside as like a dungeon can be. So do with that what you will. And there's like a quest that Carl and Princess Donut have to go on. I don't know, I can't imagine it like spans the book, but like that's kind of what they're doing right now. So it's like a little bit of a different vibe from the first one, and I'm just enjoying it. We're learning more about the way that people progress through the dungeons and like certain choices they can make as they get further into the dungeons, because you can change your race, I think. So you can, I don't know, become like an ogre, or a Sasquatch was an option. But seeing all of the different like things that a dungeon crawler could potentially turn into is fascinating, honestly. And I'm again just loving the dynamic between Carl and Princess Donut. And they also have this like little pet that they acquired in the last book, and I love him too. It's just like, the group is great, honestly. I'm really interested to see if like throughout the series they add people to their party at any point, because you can like party up with certain people. But I'm interested to see like what characters kind of like come in and out of the story, because in the first book they had some people that they were with for a while. They like weren't in the same party, but like they were working together for a while, and like they're not in this one. So I'm interested to see if like, you know, something like that's gonna happen later or what. So that's kind of how Dungeon Crawler Carl, well, what's this one called? Carl's Doomsday Scenario is going so far. I'm liking it a lot. Definitely planning on reading a lot of it tomorrow. Obviously after I finish my bag. I'm gonna wake up bright and early tomorrow so I can put all the pieces together. Right now this is just like pinned together really haphazardly, so it's gonna look a lot better when I like actually sew it together. But like, I love the shape of it. Like I'm so excited about my bag, so I had to come on and share. But obviously I also had like reading updates and such, so yeah. That's kind of what I've been up to today. Not a lot of reading, but I have been having a great time. So I will chat to you guys sometime tomorrow, hopefully with an update on Dungeon Crawler Carl. I don't know if I'm gonna get to Galatea in this vlog. Don't know if she's happening, but maybe in the next one. Maybe I'll read it on my own time. Who knows? Anyway, I'm rambling. So I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. So it is now Wednesday evening and I'm here with some very fun updates. None of them are reading related though, which is what you may have expected considering this is a reading vlog, but it's fine. I've done a little bit of reading, we'll talk about it. But mainly I wanted to show you guys my bag because I finished it and it's so cute. There are definitely some things that I could improve on. There are some things that I can, you know, tell are not great, but overall I'm so happy with the outcome of it and I think it's adorable, honestly. It's like just a nice little shoulder bag. Here she is in action, looking cute. I love her. I have already taken her out on the town, meaning we went to the grocery store together earlier, and I'm obsessed with it, honestly, and I'm so excited to make another one because one of the things that I wanted to show you was my fall fabric from Joann's, which I finally went to get. But look how beautiful this fabric is. It's got like all of these leaves and acorns, and I like that there's a lot of green in the design as well. I don't know if you guys know this, it'd be really hard to guess, but my favorite color is green. So I love that it's very fall, but it's also got like some green touches in there as well. So I do need to go find a lining fabric for the bag. They didn't really have any at Joann's that I was super jazzed about, so for now I just have this, but I think it's gonna be so cute. I'm so excited. I just like want to make so many of these bags now. I just think they're adorable. Obviously, like, I'm only gonna make the 2 probably. I might make a 3rd one though, because I feel like this bag and like a red gingham would be like super cute. I don't know though, because now that I've sewn one thing, I kind of want to sew everything. I'm like, what else could I make? There's so many things I could make, so yes. But I wanted to just share this with you guys. I put all my stuff in it. I like the way it sits. I feel like it's like a good, like, amount of structure to it. I have some batting on like the front and back, and then I have like some interfacing for the side part, so I feel like that gives it some nice structure, so I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, truly all I've spent today doing is finishing up that bag, and that's it. But it's been so fun, honestly. Like, I have loved the process of making it, so more sewing will be in my future, hopefully with this fabric. But I also popped into the thrift store earlier and I wanted to show you the cutest sweater that I've ever laid my eyes on. Well, actually, maybe that's an overstatement, but like, it is super cute. And Winnie is currently laying on it, so I'm just gonna casually, she's biting it, stop. It's really perfect for spring. I mean, like, look at her. Stunning. I love like the little crochet looking lacy bits that are on like the collar and the cuffs. I also love the sleeves. I just think it's so cute. It's from the brand Casual Corner. I think I have another sweater from them as well. It's a fall cardigan thing that I thrifted a while ago, and I haven't been able to wear it because, you know, it's not fall. But this one is very spring vibes. I just think it's so freaking cute. I love all the little flowers on it and whatnot. The only problem is it is so stiff. Like, it is so incredibly stiff. I want to know if there's a way I can like loosen it up somehow, because like it's not exactly uncomfortably stiff, because like I've tried it on and it's fine, but I like my sweaters to be a little bit more soft. Like it doesn't have to be soft. I don't know, like it's just very structured, so we'll see. But I wanted to share because I'm truly obsessed with this. It's very like grandma vibes, but in the best possible way. Probably did come from a grandma, so I would not be surprised if that was the case. But anyway, those are just like a couple of random updates that I wanted to share with you guys, but I do have a reading update. However, it is not for Carl's Doomsday Scenario. I'm still on page 72, 5, whatever page I was on. I'm not finishing this book in this vlog because I got incredibly sidetracked with my sewing project, but that's okay too. However, I did start a book today. I started an audiobook while I was like doing the finishing bits on this and whatnot, and I started the audiobook for Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is a reread for me, but I read Death at Morning House last week and I had a really fun time with it, so I was like debating going back and reading some more of the Truly Devious series. I asked in my video last week what you guys thought of that, and quite a few of you recommended like the audiobooks and like said, yeah, you should totally go back and read it, so I was like, all right, I'll trust you, I'll do it. So I decided to start listening to the audiobook and I've been having a wonderful time, honestly. It's just so fun, and there are like definitely bits that I remember from the first time I read it, but it has been like 4 years, so there are definitely bits that I do not remember from the first time that I read it. Oh, Weenie's coming in to say hi. She wants to sit on that damn sweater. It's just because it came from the thrift store, probably. It smells interesting to her, I assume. I've washed it, but that will not deter her. Oh, she's feisty right now. But if you guys don't know what Truly Devious is about, it's basically about our main character, Stevie Bell, who ends up going to this prestigious academy of sorts that basically allows juniors and seniors in high school to like go to this beautiful place up in Vermont and pursue their like area of interest, their specialty, basically. So you have people that are there for like engineering, people who are authors, people who are like, I don't know, there's like a YouTuber there, I think. But our main character, Stevie, her like area of interest is true crime, and she's kind of there to solve this murder mystery kind of thing that happened at the academy that she's going to back in the 30s. So I'm like 40% of the way through the audiobook, I think, and we've kind of just been following her as she is, you know, arriving at this academy, meeting a bunch of new and eccentric people, and it's just been fun. It's a good time, honestly. I'm enjoying it. I really liked it the first time I read it, and I'm definitely enjoying it this time around as well, which is not surprising, but yeah, it's just honestly like the perfect little audiobook to throw on, like, while I'm doing some stuff, so that's been fun. And that's all that I kind of have to report on right now. I feel like, you know, I only finished one book in this vlog, which is definitely a lot less than I usually do, but I've had such a lovely week, so I hope you guys don't mind the lack of book finishing that went on in this video. But I did finish Project Hail Mary, really enjoyed this one overall, and I'm really happy that I decided to read it. Then, you know, I read like a fourth of Carl's Doomsday Scenario, definitely gonna get back into this like tomorrow or something, and hopefully, well, actually I know it'll be really fun, so it's kind of all the reading that I did aside from Truly Devious. But sometimes, you know, the weeks are just like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog nonetheless. I definitely really enjoyed sharing a bunch of my recent hobbies with you guys. That's been really fun. Thank you again so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Obviously, I would love to know down below, have you guys read any of the books that I, you know, read in this vlog? Any of them? Let's chat. Before I go, I would like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. We do some fun stuff over there. But with that, I'm actually gonna let you go. So again, thank you so much for joining me on this lovely Monday morning, if that is the day that you're watching this video. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye! Winnie's also here and she says bye. Oh, actually you can't see her, but she looks so cute. Okay, bye.